What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another video. After such a snooze fest of what Week 10 was, I am excited to move on to Week 11. It's been a tough few weeks, I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? I deal with injuries for a couple weeks, and then boom, I deal with my gut being on a lineup that absolutely smashed, and then I overthought it and changed things and ended up just missing because Stephon Diggs wanted to catch a touchdown with 30 seconds remaining. But that's DFS, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, all you could do is what you could control, and that is study as much as possible and put your guys, every single player have a fantastic reason of why they're there and have them in a great spot to perform. And at the end of the day, you have to just hands off it on Sunday and let them go out there and hope that they do what they're supposed to do in the matchup. But either way, it's been a down couple weeks, so I am due this week. Hey, that's the good part of it. GreenlightDFS.com, join the squad. Also tonight, I will be doing a Panini Illusions break. If you haven't seen those Illusions cards yet, they're pretty sick, like see-through cards and all types of shit. Pretty fucking cool. And the boxes all come with like an encased fancy-ass auto, so come check it out. If you're into sports cards, collecting stuff like that, that's a new hobby that I've been getting into. I really have had a great time breaking these boxes and stuff like that. The breaking site is gldbreaks.com. You can check that out over there if you want to get involved in one of these breaks. I have 6 boxes of illusions coming up, so I'll be doing illusions breaks this week, as well as studying for the DFS slate, and that's all I'm going to be doing all week. So let's go ahead and get it. Starting off at quarterback. All right. In this first look, as you guys know, I do a first look lineup vid today on Tuesday mornings, and then on Friday we come back and go position by position and break down everybody that kind of is in our player pool. All right. So starting off at quarterback, the guy that I'm really liking here is going to be Jameis Winston. As we know, our boy Drew Brees has a collapsed lung as well as fractured ribs and all types of stuff. Okay. Jameis Winston gets the privilege of his first actual start with New Orleans being at home in a dome against Atlanta. Okay, now Atlanta's defense has played better since we switched up some coaching, but either way, this is still Atlanta. Jameis Winston, yes, he will throw an interception. We know what Jameis Winston, he'll throw an interception, but he's got some really good weapons on this Atlanta offense. I mean, on this New Orleans team with Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Jared Cook, Emmanuel Sanders. He's got plenty of options on this offense, and I definitely can see him having a very solid game here. And at 5'9", a quarterback who has shown in the past that he can play very well, coming in for Drew Brees with all the weapons that he has here and in a plus matchup against Atlanta and at home in a dome, Jameis Winston is a solid option for me. And in my first look, I've really, really liked him a lot. Now, one thing that I'm going to want to pair Jameis with is Alvin Kamara. Seeing that Jameis Winston's going to want to dump off a lot, going to want to use his safety valve in Alvin Kamara a ton. Expect New Orleans to kind of game plan to use a lot of Alvin Kamara here. I mean, they game plan it anyways, but expect it even more now with Jameis Winston at quarterback, okay? You're not going to want Jameis Winston just dropping back and slinging it down the field all game. You're going to want these dump offs. You're going to want to, move the ball down the field slowly but surely and just get in the end zone. That's the main focus. And how do you do that? By peppering Alvin Kamara in the pass game. There's nobody that can cover him. They can't double him because then Michael Thomas will run wild. Emmanuel Sanders is good enough. Jared Cook can destroy him. So at the end of the day, they have to single cover these guys, and Alvin Kamara is in a great spot here at home, and I think that he is going to end up being Winston's favorite target. We see what Alvin Kamara just did last game. He got 8 targets in the pass game, 83 receiving yards, as well as getting in the end zone 3 times. So expect Alvin Kamara to get in the end zone a good bit here and be involved heavily in this pass game with Jameis Winston being the quarterback. All right. Next up, we got a nice little value here at running back, and that is Salvon Ahmed. Ahmed started for Miami this last game. I didn't know much about the kid, so I didn't get much exposure to it, but it was a very bright spot seeing him get 21 carries, a touchdown, and 85 rushing yards. Now, I made sure that I switched to that game and I watched that game a little bit, and not only Is this dude 4'8", but he runs the ball hard. He is a solid running back that runs hard, and it's just a great spot for him against this Denver defense that just gave up almost 33 to Josh Jacobs. Now, Ahmed is not Josh Jacobs, but at the same time, I really like Miami to get up here and hold it here, and I love the Miami defense. And you know I love pairing defense with running back. Denver is without Drew Lock this week, okay? They're going to struggle here. Miami's defense is going to be great, which in turn is going to get a lot of carries for Ahmed on the other side. Expect Ahmed to carry the load on offense, and at 4'8", I really, really love his situation here. And obviously they want him to be the guy, and he just looked really, really solid in this last game. Plain and simple. He just looked really good running the ball. So I really like Ahmed as a value running back this week. Now, at wide receiver, man, I debated these three spots a while, okay? And now let's start with Marvin Jones. The reason being is because obviously Kenny Golladay is not trending in the right direction to be back for Week 11. On top of that, Danny Amendola is not looking great to play at Week 11 either. That leaves them in really, really thin, okay? So you're going to see some DeAndre Swift. Marvin Jones is a great option. You're going to have Marvin Hall, these guys. But Marvin Jones sticks out to me the most at 5'5". You're getting him under 6K. He is the main offensive weapon for Detroit, him and DeAndre Swift. And they have a tremendous matchup against Carolina. With Amendola possibly being out here, keep an eye on that. I'm expecting Amendola to miss here. Okay, and with Kenny Golladay trending in the wrong direction to play as well, if both of those guys miss, Marvin Jones is going to get a ton of targets, and I really, really like him here against Carolina. And he's a guy that I really want to get into my wide receiver spot because, look, when Kenny Golladay and Amendola out, there's just a lot of targets out of that lineup, and they're all going to have to go somewhere. So I'm expecting Marvin Jones to get in the end zone once, maybe even twice here in this matchup. I really like that situation. Now, a guy I really like as well, we're expecting Andy Dalton back. That's not a huge plus, but CeeDee Lamb is really interesting to me here because CeeDee Lamb, we know the type of talent this kid has. He was smashing in the beginning when Dak was quarterback. Andy Dalton is a guy who, yes, he struggled. Okay, he struggled. He was getting hit a lot. That offensive line was struggling for Dallas. Zeke's not doing much to take pressure off the quarterbacks, But at the end of the day, Dallas falls behind a lot. Okay, which in turn means Dallas has to throw a ton. This matchup against Minnesota, we didn't have any Chicago receivers go off last night in Monday Night Football, but I'm expecting it to happen here. I think CeeDee Lamb or Amari Cooper, one of these guys are going to go off, and I'm predicting it to be CeeDee Lamb at 5K. I really, really like him here going against Minnesota. The matchup is great for wide receivers against Minnesota. CeeDee Lamb is a solid receiver. Plain and simple, he's just a guy that I feel pretty confident that's going to get me 15 or more here in this one. I love the fact Andy Dalton is back because he's better than these other guys that Dallas has been able to run. So, I like CeeDee Lamb here in this one. Next up, at wide receiver, we have a few value. We've got Sims. All right, we've got Sims as a solid value, and we also have Keelan Cole. I'm leaning Keelan Cole because Keelan Cole is 3'8". I'm expecting Jacksonville to fall behind heavily here against Pittsburgh. So the game script is going to be throwing a ton from Jacksonville. Vegas has Jacksonville as 10-point underdogs. On top of that, Pittsburgh has struggled against these guys. T. Higgins and CeeDee Lamb and Willie Snead all had really solid games against Pittsburgh. You think of Pittsburgh as being a really, really good defense, and they are, but they just gave up almost 27 to T. Higgins. Almost 17 to CeeDee Lamb, almost 19 to Willie Snead. Keelan Cole's in a solid spot here and at a cheap price for a team that's going to be slinging it all game, trying to catch up to Pittsburgh at home in Jacksonville. Keelan Cole is an interesting value play for me, and I'll definitely have some exposure to him. At tight end, I haven't really liked a ton of these guys, so I'm falling on Logan Thomas. Against Cincinnati. The matchup is there, obviously. They haven't been very good against tight ends. They've almost been giving up a touchdown per game. They're ranked bottom in the league at receiving yards to tight ends. It's just a solid spot here for Logan Thomas. Alex Smith came in and was slinging the ball all over the field for Washington. I really like the spot here for Logan Thomas. I really like a lot of these Washington guys as value options on this slate, honestly, because I think this Washington offense will be able to score against Cincinnati, and this is a game that's interesting to me, as well as the Dallas-Minnesota game, as well as the Atlanta-New Orleans game. There's some solid games on this slate that you want to get exposure to. New England-Houston. Okay, I almost had a Cam Newton paired with Jacoby Myers line solely because Myers is his favorite target, and I'm expecting Cam to explode here. Okay, I think he's going to have a huge game against Houston, but with the savings, I ended up going Winston. But yeah, that game's another good game. So yeah, Logan Thomas anyway. Logan Thomas at tight end. There's no tight ends, like I said, that really stick out to me as like, oh man, I really, really, really want to try to get these guys. So I'm going to spend down for 3-3 for Logan Thomas. I know he's going to get the targets. Alex Smith looked really good last game, and now he gets a solid matchup against Cincinnati. I'll take it. At the flex, I really love Dalvin Cook because Dalvin Cook just let a lot of people down in the showdown, kind of. I mean, he only ended up getting, 15 points in the showdown last night. That's a letdown for most people, but I kind of saw that coming. He's not super involved in the pass game, so I knew he was going to have to get it on the ground. And at the end of the day, Chicago is a solid defense. Okay, Akeem and Hicks. You got Hicks there. You've got those solid linebackers. Like, I knew Chicago was going to put up a fight and stack that box against them and make them beat them elsewhere, and they did. Thielen and Jefferson smashed. So, but Dalvin Cook in this spot is in a bounce back spot. So I'm hoping people kind of, worry maybe about him and stay off, but I doubt it. Dalvin Cook's at home in Minnesota in a dome, going against Dallas's defense that has just been struggling. And that's kind of why I ended up on CeeDee Lamb, because I'm going Dalvin Cook, and I liked this game a lot, so I wanted to run back my love for Dalvin Cook with CeeDee Lamb on the other side. I'm expecting Minnesota to be up, use a lot of Dalvin Cook, and I'm expecting CeeDee Lamb to be involved a lot in trying to catch up to Minnesota. But yeah, Dalvin Cook, I don't have to explain this much, man. Dallas is a bad defense, plain and simple. They gave up almost 32 to Kenyon Drake. I mean, enough said. All right, plain and simple, enough said. Dalvin Cook's going to smash here. Last but not least, I talked about really loving the Dolphins defense, man. They're going against Drew Lock is not going to play. They're going to go against like Ripien or somebody. Okay, like it's just not going to be a great position for whoever is Denver quarterback. At the end of the day, this is a solid situation. Ripien or Driscoll, like either one of those guys are going to be going against this Dolphins defense that has looked really, really good. They've been very solid, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another like 20-plus performance out of this Dolphins defense. I really, really like them, and I love the fact that we have Ahmed in the first look too, running that back. So that's it. Let's go back over it. We got Jameis Winston at quarterback. I know a lot of people might be a little hesitant because Winston is a turnover machine, throws a lot of picks, but at the end of the day, he's got some tremendous weapons in New Orleans. He's got a guy like Alvin Kamara as a safety valve if he's not feeling good, throwing it down the field. And I think he's going to utilize that a lot. And I think he's going to be able to, because of that, move the ball down the field pretty well. All right, and this is an Atlanta secondary that's not good. And they're at home in New Orleans. So after a week, you remember, Winston came in dry when Drew Brees got hurt. With now having the whole week to game plan with his offense and kind of practice with them and stuff, they're going to be significantly better together than they were when Winston came in last time. So expect Winston to do pretty damn solid here. And at 5'9", I wouldn't be surprised to see him have a really good game here against Atlanta. He's got tons of weapons, and I'm really liking him. Alvin Kamara. Don't have to explain that much. Like I've said a million times in this video already, I'm expecting him to be utilized a ton as a safety valve for Winston and getting a ton of targets. I'm expecting over 10 targets in this one. If Kamara can catch most of those, get in the end zone a few times, he's going to have a huge game. Love Alvin Kamara. One of my favorite values on the slate at 4-8 is Ahmed for Miami. I talked about loving Miami getting up here against Denver. Denver's down to Ripien or Driscoll at quarterback. I'm really thinking that he's going to have a solid go at things here. And I think he's going to get a ton of carries. So expect Ahmed to get over 20 carries in a game where Miami should be ahead, going against a bad Denver defense. I really love Ahmed. He also looked really, really good in that last game, just period, watching him. He was hitting the hole quick, and he's just a quick, solid little running back. I think he's going to have a solid performance at 4-8. And then Marvin Jones, CeeDee Lamb, and Keelan Cole. Marvin Jones because Golladay is trending in the wrong direction to play. Keep an eye on Danny Amendola. That makes a major impact, but Amendola was not able to come back in, hurt his hip, so I would expect possibly him missing as well. I'm expecting him to miss. That would leave Marvin Jones as him and DeAndre Swift to carry this offense. So expect a lot of Marvin Jones and a lot of DeAndre Swift. CeeDee Lamb. Love Dalvin Cook, which I'm going to get to and talk about again in a second. But CeeDee Lamb, I'm expecting Dallas to be behind. Andy Dalton is back, who is a much better quarterback than what Dallas was dealing with. Obviously, he wasn't doing a ton before he got hurt, but expect him to be a lot better than what we've been expecting. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him come in a dome and have a solid game here against Minnesota's bad secondary. Expect CeeDee Lamb to be a part of that. So I really like CeeDee Lamb. If you don't want to go CeeDee Lamb, you can also go Jacoby Myers right there at 4.9. He's obviously Cam Newton's favorite target, and that game, New England-Houston game, is really interesting to me. So you can go either way. I solely landed on CeeDee Lamb. I'm about even on him and Myers. I landed on CeeDee Lamb because I wanted to run back a Dalvin Cook. That's pretty much what leaned me on CD. Keelan Cole just feels like at a tremendous value on this slate. Jacksonville are 10-point underdogs, expected to be 10-point underdogs here in this game. All right, going against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going to get up big. Jacksonville's at home, going to have to throw a lot to keep up. Keelan Cole, I'm expecting to have a very solid game here, trying to catch up. And at 3.8, he's just a really, really good value. Logan Thomas, solely on the fact that because as of right now, I'm not loving any of the tight end options that we have on this slate. Come the final look, maybe other guys will pop up. Maybe we'll have some value guys. Maybe, tight ends won't be playing. We'll have some value, all that. I'll talk about it in the final look video. But as of right now, Logan Thomas feels pretty good with Alex Smith at the helm, looking pretty damn good last game, going against a bad Cincinnati defense at only 3.3. I kind of landed on that. I'm thinking Logan Thomas is going to get us 8 to 10, right around that range, and that's going to be enough for us. Dalvin Cook going against Dallas. I know he let people down. Their expectations were high for some reason against Chicago. The issue there was Chicago pretty much could stack the box on Dalvin Cook. They have a really good defense in general. And Dalvin's just not super involved in the pass game to really be able to do it. He did get 4 targets, which is one less than his season high. But Dalvin Cook at home in Minnesota here going against Dallas. Expect another 25 to 30 carries out of Dalvin here and expect him to be the main reason why Minnesota most likely wins this game. I think he's going to absolutely dominate, and then running that back with CeeDee Lamb in this line, I love that. And then the Dolphins defense paired up with Ahmed. As you guys know, a lot of times I like to pair my defense up with my running back because if the defense is doing really good, that most likely means that they're up and running the ball a lot, and that normally correlates well together. That Dolphins defense is going against a Denver squad that's going to be rolling out Ripien and Driscoll. Not 100% sure which one, but either way, I'm definitely down with playing defense against them. I wish Miami was at home, but at the end of the day, at 3-4, Miami Dolphins defense has been playing some solid football. They get to go against Ripien or Driscoll, so get your popcorn ready. This is going to be a very exciting play right here for our defense, and that's it. So good luck, y'all. GreenlightDFS.com. Join the squad. Drop down below who you think is going to be the highest scoring player on DraftKings and their point total. Once again, nobody hit it last week. It was a week where we had Valdez Scantling dropping almost 30 DraftKings points. So just, leave that behind. Week 11 should be a lot better. Excited for it. Let's get this money. Thank you guys for joining me as always. And I'm out. Peace.